Hi everyone, I'm Michael Uriarty or Dr. Mike, and welcome to Technique Talk, the MYK System, and more. This is episode 24 in our series of comparing and contrasting other techniques with the MYK System. Today, we're going to talk about structural energetic technique. If you want more information on either technique, I have the website links in the description below. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, be sure and hit the subscribe button. I have a lot more videos coming. Whether you're a patient looking to get help or a practitioner looking for a good technique to learn, this series is what you need. Let's dive in. Who started structural energetic technique? Okay, so Don McCann. He has been practicing rehabilitative hands-on therapy for 46 years. And he says, when I first became a licensed massage therapist, I noticed that recurring pain in my clients was a common theme, and my efforts to eliminate the source of that pain developed into structural energetic therapy. So, since my focus was the actual rehabilitation of whatever conditions were causing pain and dysfunction to my clients, my treatment incorporates knowledge from many sources as well as my own original discoveries and techniques. And he goes into his history and things like that. And so he says, I've also created and developed cranial structural therapy and cranial structural energetics. So my massage therapist and mental health counselor licenses have given me an opportunity, a unique opportunity, to work with the integration of physical structure, the energetic and emotional body, and the mind. And this allows me to integrate the mind-body connection that is necessary for healing. Okay, so that's who came up with structural energetic technique. And so yours truly came up with the myokinesthetic system. And again, I came up with it. Part of how we came up with it once I was in practice and stuff is one of my therapists came to me and said, hey, you're lucky you bill for the treatments that you do. We bill for the minutes that we spend. And I was like, well, I see the benefit of what you guys do with the soft tissue. Let's see if we can't put a treatment together that you can bill for. And so the initial idea that I had with the myokinesthetic system was, if I adjust, let's just say I adjust C5, then we're going to work all the muscles innervated by C5. And then that would be a more complete, specific treatment for the patient. And so that's kind of how my mindset was when I put this together. And it took about a year to put all the information together, and then we brought it out and we started using it in the clinic. And it only took about 2 or 3 weeks, and the patients came back and said, this is really cool, but we really think that this new soft tissue stuff is what's getting us better, and so we don't really want you to adjust us before we do this. We just want that technique. And I was thoroughly offended, but I was like, all right, well, let's see. And so I started doing this more and more and more, and I noticed, wow, my just with this, not doing the adjustment, but just with the soft tissue of the myokinesthetic system, my patients got better faster, and it lasted longer than when I was adjusting. So I just started doing it more and more and more and more. And then it just started growing from there. And then we learned how to figure out what's wrong with somebody from a postural analysis. And it just kind of grew. And then we got into specific strengthening exercises based off the person's postural imbalances, based off the person's nerve problem. And then we were able to continue on like that. And then we got into the organs. And now we're actually getting into the brain and how to impact different areas of the brain, very specifically how to test for that and that kind of stuff. So it just keeps evolving, and we enjoy that. All right, so let's look at the overview and the key principles for structural energetic therapy. So the overview, we have structural energetic therapy integrates cranial structural techniques, myofascial releases, and energetic balancing to relieve pain and improve function. Okay. The key principles of this are the spiral twist in the body. And I've looked on the website. They don't really go in and explain what exactly is the spiral twist. So I think you got to take the class to get there. But it says it addresses emotional blockages and stresses. It utilizes cranial structural techniques and myofascial protocols, a holistic approach, meets the needs of humanity, mind, body, and spirit. Now, you guys know it says that it addresses emotional blockages and stresses. If you've listened to any of my talks, you know that I try not to get into the emotional stuff. So I've had people cry on the table, and it's not something that I look for. It happens every now and then, but I sure don't go looking for it. So I try not to have that happen at all. So what is it and what kind of separates it apart? So structural energetic therapy is a therapeutic approach designed to rehabilitate pain-causing conditions and enhance overall structural function and performance. And so it uniquely integrates specialized cranial structural techniques, myofascial release, energetic balancing. A key differentiator is its focus on releasing the spiral twist found in everyone. Wow. Allowing for weight-bearing support that alleviates stress on joints, spine, and discs. Okay, so that's different. So, okay. I would say what separates out the myokinesthetic system from other techniques. Number one, we have a postural analysis that gets down into the nerve root problem of someone's issue. And then we don't treat an area. We're not treating a joint. We're not treating a muscle. We're not treating an area of the body. We're treating the nervous system in a very specific way. So if we're treating C5, there's 31 different muscles on the left and right side that we're going to treat. We don't treat side specific. So, I have carpal tunnel on my right hand. We're not just going to treat from the elbow down on the right side. There's all kinds of muscles. You got the scalene. Sometimes I don't get rid of carpal tunnel issues until I treat the scalenes on the other side. So we have to treat everything on both sides of the body to fully impact one nerve. And so I would say that's the big thing that separates out the myokinesthetic system from some of the other techniques that are out there. Some of the key principles with the myokinesthetic system. So we are going after the nervous system or nervous system dysfunctions. And we say, because it's true, that if there's a dysfunction in the nervous system, that affects all other systems of the body. So we do muscle, for lack of a better term, manipulation, to rebalance the nervous system. So from a chiropractic standpoint, I move a bone to try and rebalance the nervous system. With the myokinesthetic system, I'm getting in on the soft tissue, and I'm specifically targeting specific muscles on a nerve pathway so that we get this information that goes up to the brain, and the brain receives that information, and then it makes changes, and other muscles have to contract or relax based on that change. So we have an emphasis on anatomy, the evaluation of symptoms and conditions, and then the specific treatment protocols. All of the myokinesthetic system was put together from the anatomy and physiology books. So everything that we talk about, you can find in an anatomy and a physiology book. So it's not like we say, hey, if you touch here, you'll have an impact on this organ over there. And you go, well, where is that connection? And people go, well, it's just something we found. We don't do that. So ours is very much ingrained in anatomy and physiology. So I've had surgeons, I've had medical doctors, I've had owners of hospitals, I've had all kinds of people come and take my class. Everybody, they go, well, it makes sense. I'm like, well, it has to make sense. It's what's written in every single anatomy and physiology book that's out there. So it has to make sense from that standpoint. Now, one of the other things that separates the myokinesthetic system from other techniques is our soft tissue technique is 15 minutes or less, no matter what treatment that you're doing, no matter what you're going after. So if you're going after a peripheral nerve issue like plantar fasciitis, or headache or shoulder problem or anything like that, or if you're going after an organ issue like incontinence or acid reflux or the diaphragm, maybe somebody can't breathe or go to the bathroom very well or different things like that, all of the treatments are 15 minutes or less. So that's one of the things that we when we were putting this information together, we really focused on that aspect because it went back to the therapist and them saying, we bill for the minutes. And I was like, well, let's put a treatment together and let's make all the treatments 15 minutes or less. Some of the treatments are 3 minutes. Some of the treatments are 15. We charge the same regardless of the treatment because the treatment that we're doing is specific to your problem. So whether that takes 3 minutes to fix or whether it takes 15 minutes to fix, we charge the same thing to do that. And people always ask, do people, get upset about that? I'm like, are you crazy? It's more voodoo-like because they're always like, what did you do? My symptoms are gone. And it was like that. And we're like, yeah, it's what we do. Isn't that kind of cool? So, all right. So conditions. Let's look at some of the conditions that the structural energetic therapy or technique says that they treat. So it says a broad spectrum of conditions, including acid reflux, arthritis, fibromyalgia, scoliosis, carpal tunnel, frozen shoulder, sciatica, and back pain. Very similar, because if you go up to the myokinesthetic system, and if we look at some of the conditions that we treat, we got headaches, carpal tunnel, rotator cuff issues, frozen shoulder, plantar fasciitis, sciatica, low back pain, carpal tunnel, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, my goodness. Then you get into the organ issues, like I said, incontinence, acid reflux, asthma. I throw those out because we get very, very good results with those type of conditions. Those are the ones that I always think of right off the top of my head. So now, it says the practitioners, there's a list of therapists practicing in Lutz, Florida. And then there's also a national directory for the myokinesthetic system for the people that do this. If you go up on the website, up at the top, it says find a provider, and you can click on there. And we have providers all over the U.S. for that. Now, we also have some peer-reviewed published articles for the myokinesthetic system. We've had it used in Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, many different college sports teams and things like that. So it's starting to get out there. I work with the University of Idaho. I'm an adjunct instructor with the University of Idaho. I've been doing that for about 11 years now. And so they do a lot of research on the myokinesthetic system, and those articles are up on the website as well. Okay, let's look at, if we do a comparative analysis of the two. So myokinesthetic system and structural energetic therapy. So the primary focus for the myokinesthetic system is rebalancing the nervous system through the muscles. We're going to treat the muscles to rebalance the nervous system. If we balance the nervous system, because posture is the outward expression of the nervous system. So what we're looking to do for our easy sake, we want to balance somebody's posture. So if we do a treatment, they stand up and their shoulders balance, we get to say, hey, look, we just balanced your nervous system in this area, because the posture is the outward expression. If somebody comes in with their shoulders off, we get to legitimately say, something's wrong with you. You should be balanced. Something's not right. Something's not functioning right on the inside. And if we do a treatment and that balances out, pain goes down, range of motion goes up, people feel better, and they go, wow, how do I keep this? And you go, well, here's the protocol to make sure it doesn't come back. All right, so for the primary focus with structural energetic therapy is releasing the spiral twist and addressing emotional blocks. So I'm going to say that our two techniques are very different. They're going to be very different. Number one, I don't know what the spiral twist is. They didn't explain it in the website, what the spiral twist was. But then they're also addressing emotional things, which I always try and avoid. So that's just me. All right. So with us, we work on the muscles, so muscle manipulation, and we're grouping everything according to their nerve root innervation. With structural energetic therapy, they do cranial or structural techniques, myofascial release, and energy balancing. And so the treatments for us are 3 to 15 minutes. They don't say how long the treatments are, so I'm not sure how long it takes. It could be more like going into a massage therapist office. Since Don was a massage therapist, I'm assuming they're going to be 30 minutes or an hour and a half treatments. That's going to be my guess. If you know better, let me know in the comments below if you know that that's not correct. So evidence and claims. So we have peer-reviewed published articles. We also have case studies and different things like that, where some of them are very good, where we get 100% relief and it lasts for different conditions. So you have to go out and check some of our articles out. And for the structural energetic therapy, it says it relies more on testimonials and that kind of thing. So with the myokinesthetic system, we are not really focused on the emotional or the energetic aspects of care. We're more in with the nervous system and the posture and balancing that and getting rid of the pain and increasing function and restoring health. That's kind of our focus. With structural energetic therapy, they kind of have an explicit focus on addressing the mind, body, and spirit. So with us, we have the upper body, the lower body, and the certification class. They don't really say, it's not really specified on their website as far as the different classes and different things like that. But I will say this. So both techniques, so the myokinesthetic system, structural energetic therapy, we're both trying to provide pain relief and improve function using a hands-on technique. So we're both going to put our hands on you. We're both going to try and figure out how to get rid of the pain, how to improve your function. We take more of a neurological approach. So we're going more into the nervous system to try and make this happen. And we're trying to get quantifiable results that you can measure. With structural energetic therapy, it adopts a more holistic approach incorporating structure, myofascial, and energetic elements. So both conditions are going to treat a wide variety of conditions, so that's good. And we offer a structured continuing ed protocol that gets you into a certification process with our technique. Now, SET, or structural energetic therapy, focuses on the spiral twist as the primary underlying cause of pain and dysfunction. And I haven't found what that is. If you've taken the class, or if you know information about that spiral twist and what it is and what they do, that would be great. Put that information in there, and then we can go. Or, with all these videos that I'm doing, I would love to interview the people that came up with it. That would be a cool thing. And then we can get in and really have a discussion about, what this stuff is about. So that's another thing that I'm looking to do with these videos as well. I just got to get them out a little bit more and get more people looking at them. That's why you got to subscribe. You got to subscribe. We get the subscribers up, then I can start having these people come in and actually do an interview with them and find out the true similarities and differences between the techniques, because that would be nice. So, all right, that is, I like the technique. I like the sound of it as far as what he's trying to do. I don't know, because he does get into some of the, he had gone through some of the mental health portion of things. So I don't know from an emotional standpoint if, when you're on the table, if they start, because there's techniques out there, think about this traumatic thing that happened, or tell us about this traumatic thing that happened. And that's where I just don't get into that part of it. I don't even know if I would feel comfortable in a session if I was the patient and had to explore that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know. I could be way off on that. Maybe that's not what they do, but that's what I'm thinking is a portion of what they do, just based on some of the stuff that I've read. So that was good. If you have chronic pain, maybe you want to check out a structural energetic therapist and see if they can't help with your chronic pain, because they say that that's one of the things that they deal with. That was one of the things that got Don going to put this information together, was to help his clients with the chronic pain stuff. Hey, If you made it this far, smile.